Hi guys, Yvette here. Welcome to Willow Creek, and today's subject is day 25. No, that's not the subject. The video is October YouTube Pagan Vlog Challenge, day 25, and the phrase is growing up. Who got spanked with a switch growing up? I did. You had to go out there and get a branch when you did something wrong and get spanked. Don't bring over no little baby branch, because you're gonna get it double, okay? So yeah, that was a thing growing up. Another thing from myself was child abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, and it's not. I've done a lot of work to get to where I am. This is actually my 5th time making this video, because I keep going over, because I have so much to say about this subject. But I just want you to know that if you have gone through any of this, you're not alone. Get help. You can get through it. But also, growing up, I grew up in a household who practiced witchcraft. They practiced, everybody. It was just a normal thing. We lived in the projects when I was little, and I didn't know that what we did wasn't normal, or wasn't. Well, I mean, what's normal, right? It's subjective, right? My normal's not your normal. But I just thought it was a natural thing that we did, right? It was just a natural, that everybody did it. Well, when we moved out of there, and for us, when we lived in the South, our projects were in the South. So when we moved north of town, we went to a totally different environment. And so when we were asked growing up, why does your mom do that? Or why do you all do that? How am I supposed to explain? I don't know, we just do it, you know? I don't know, she just does that. How am I supposed to explain to another kid that, you know, we practice witchcraft? I'm a kid. To me, it's just a normal thing, you know? I didn't know what it was called. I just did it, and my mom just did it. So how am I going to explain to another kid, a friend of mine, that that's what we did? So I didn't know how to explain that. And even now that people do talk about it, it's still not the norm. And it was really not the norm back then. You know, it wasn't even talked about, and it was hush hush, you know? So, okay, I'm watching this truck trying to take this turn, and it's a big truck, trying to take a turn around a building. He's like this close to the wall. And they're laughing because they finally made it through. They're crazy. People are nuts. Anywho. But yeah, I didn't know that. And then until one day, I made a friend who actually knew what was happening, and she accepted us, or accepted me anyway, the way I was. But because it was, we grew up in the same kind of culture, okay? So that was just one of the things. And she's been my best friend forever, for over 30 years. And we live like 5 minutes away from each other now. But yeah, it's just growing up, it was hard for me. I didn't have an easy childhood. I nurtured my inner child. I started nurturing my inner child when I had children, because I wasn't allowed to be a kid. I was able to play with my kids as I would have when I was a kid. If I was a kid, you know what I mean? Like, I was able to be a kid with my kids, with my children, because I wasn't afraid that somebody was going to call me in and hurt me because they just wanted to, because they felt like it. So I was, able to let go and be childlike with my children. And I do that now even with my grandchildren. But I often have to take time for myself, and every once in a while do a meditation and speak to my inner child and let her know that she's okay, that she is safe, and that she will never be hurt again, and that I will protect her. Which is something I wish my mother would have said to me or done for me. I don't have the relationship with my mother that I had with my grandmother, because for me, my grandmother was my mother. I just, and I often get told a lot of, I often get told a lot to not be so harsh with my mother, and that I should see my mother more often and call my mother more often. But it's kind of difficult when you don't have that connection with your own mother. That bond that you form with your child, that's not a bond that I have with my mom. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I love my mother like I love my friends. Like I love my friends, and I don't want any harm coming to her, right? And I have to speak up for her, I will. But for me, that emotional bond is not there. The obligation to watch over her is. I have an obligation because she's my mother. But I don't have that same kind of love that a child has for their mother, which is sad. For me, it's sad. But because that's not the kind of bond that she formed with me. And so my mother was selfish. My mother cannot make a decision that is for somebody else's good. It's always about how it benefits her. Or it was. I don't know about now, because like I said, I'm not that close with my mom. And I do envy those who, which I shouldn't be envious, but I kind of envy those who have a bond with their mother that they do. Now, I have that kind of bond with my children. Like, I'm really close with my children. The bond that I wish I had with my mother, I have with my kids. But because I know how difficult it is not to, I don't know, I just knew growing up that I didn't want to be like my mother, and so I totally went in the other direction, in the direction that I wish my mother would have gone. I've been an overprotective parent and grandparent, and I don't know. I think even though I made mistakes parenting at times, I still became a better parent than my mother. And I do have deep conversations with my mother, and when she decides that she wants to tell me how to live my life, or decides to tell me or tell me something that I don't agree with, because she doesn't have any right to. If she didn't protect me, her decisions were selfish, and I'm not okay with that. And while I have to eventually at some point care for her well-being, it doesn't mean that I've let Well, that's not that I didn't let it go, but how do I explain this? I have to be there for my mother because of obligation, because she is my mother. But she is just my mother because of birth, because she gave birth to me. And because of that, I have to watch after her. And she also has 2 other sons. And she's always been, she's always favored one over the other. She's always done that. She's always favored one son, my middle brother. She's always favored my middle brother over myself and my younger brother, my baby brother. So I've seen it all. I've been through it all, I think. But I'm here to tell you, you can get through it with a lot. Just get some help. You can get through it. Anywho, I really don't like this topic. This was not my favorite prompt to do, but I did it. It's over with. I hope there's not another one like this. And I will see y'all tomorrow for day 6. Bye, guys.